Hey there. So I actually wanted to show how to take some notes using just some different pens of different thickness. So today I'm actually going to be using the Erin Condren different thickness from the Focus collection. These are kind of similar to microns, and I'm not going to be using all of them, but I did kind of want to show you what they look like first. And you can use microns or you can use other pens too, but I just kind of wanted to give you an example of how you could do it, because I've been using these to spice up my notes. So let me first show you. So this is all of them. There's quite a lot. Let me first show you what they all look like, and I'm going to go in order. So let me first show you this one. So this is the 0.2, and then let's see, the next one is 0.8. I'm gonna look on the sides for these. 0.4, here we go. This is 0.4. And then next we have the 0.6. So it's right here. And you can see as I'm doing it, they're getting progressively thicker. And then keep on picking up the brush one. This is 0.8. So we only got two more. So then this is 0.1, and then this, I'm not gonna, this is the brush. So see, you can already see the tip's a little bit different. So this is the brush. So I will say, with this brush tip, even though they do have a brush tip, which I really appreciate, it feels very light and I don't want to damage it. So I think it would be really good for other things instead of brush lettering, and I think Tombows might be better for actual brush lettering. But anyway, so here I have my different thicknesses, and what I want to do is I want to show you how we can actually take some notes with just 3 different pen thicknesses. So we're actually not going to use all of these today. The ones that I'm going to use, let me get out my trusty .20 one. The one I'm going to use this, the .20. I'm going to use the 0.1, and then I'm going to use the brush tip. So, and you can actually use, you could actually use any of these. But what I wanted to show you was how easy it is to take notes and how you really don't have to work very hard to take them. So, for instance, when it comes to notes, one of the easiest things you can do if you like to make your notes stand out but you are not very artistic is you can have a heading like this, and then you can have some body text like this. And if you notice, right, if you notice, the heading is stands out with the body text. So that's one really easy way. You don't have to draw any lines or anything. But let me just show you how we can kind of spice up our notes, and you don't necessarily have to do this right when you're taking your notes. You can always come back and do it. So let me just show you another one where, let's say I have a heading. I'm gonna do a heading here, and then I'm gonna leave some space, and I'm gonna say body text, right? So, you know, body text. So I still, right, it still stands out. I can still see the heading and the body text, but maybe I want to have the heading stand out just a little bit more. So that's where we can start to do a little bit of doodling, nothing too crazy. And by the way, I'm using an Erin Condren monthly notebook. You can use whatever you want, but I like it because it shows me lines. So I can actually use the lines to draw a box around it. And there we go, got a little bit of box in the G, but you get the gist. So now this box will stand out, and now I can see my body text. So I can always add the box later. I can add the box when I'm reviewing my notes. That's one thing that I can do. Now, let's say I want to make this box stand out even more. Well, that's where this brush pen, I think, really shines. So let me actually get out the brush pen. So here what I can do is I can draw a little shadow. And so just very carefully, I can draw a little shadow there, and puts a little shadow on the box. Just makes it a little bit more exciting to look at. And then let me smooth these out a little bit. All right. And your shadows don't have to be perfect, right? It can obviously stand out, and I can obviously see without even reading it what the body text is and what the heading is. Now, one other thing that I've been practicing is making banners, and so I'm a big fan of banners, and they're not too hard to do, especially I'm not very artistic, just keep on practicing them, you'll get there. But let me just show you. So I'm gonna say one more, I'm gonna say a heading. And actually, you know what? I wanna do this in the other one. And the reason, let me actually just show you, since I already messed it up, let me show you what'll happen if you do your heading in a small thing. And then let me show you if I make a box around it. So see how if I make a box around it, it kind of throws things off. So it kind of like, you know, doesn't really look as good. So that's why I recommend using the I call this 0.1. I meant to call this, no, I was right. It was a 1.0. That's what I should have called this. The 1.0 for the heading, and then the 0.2, because it just looks weird if it's reversed. But that was just a little, just want to show you that. All right, so let me actually do this again. Let me write heading. And I like the banners because we can come back to them. So let's say this is an important topic, or this is some subject line. So I can always draw the box around it like before, right? I can use those lines to draw a box around it. And it's okay if the G is sticking off, that's not a big deal. But what I can do is I can turn this into a banner later. So let's say I don't want to add a drop shadow. Let's say I want to add a banner later. This is very easy. So what I can do is I just draw two lines out like this. I'm going to draw a line up here, and then over here is going to be the flags of my banner right there. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to do that on the other side. So I'm going to draw lines. I'm going to draw a line down here. We're going to get rid of that G. And then we're going to do this. And then you can kind of play around with it as you want. So this could work as a banner, but if you want to make it just a little bit more realistic, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw little lines there. And then I'm going to use my 1. So I'm not going to use my brush. I'm going to use my 1 to shade it in. So there we go. And then there we go, the G hanging out there won't be so bad. So these are just examples, and what's nice is I can draw the box around it, and then I can always do that later, do the banner later. But I really like this banner. There's all sorts of different banners. You can look up different videos on how to do banners, but I just want to show you with just 3 pens how easy it is to just make text look interesting. And I'm not using color. Of course, you can use highlighters, you can use stickers, but especially if you're just taking notes at the moment, this is really good. And like I said before, just be careful when you use your pens, because like this is not a good example. This heading, I would say, is probably not the best example, so we'll put it next to that. But you know, you can play around, see what you want, and then don't forget, so this one has all sorts of different thicknesses. I have gone ahead and linked it in the description so you can see for yourself if you like it. And just a heads up, they're affiliate links, so I may get a commission, but there's also microns as well that other people prefer, and you can use any paper you want. I was just using kind of regular paper, but you could do whatever suits you. So there you go. Just thought I'd show you an example, and hopefully it inspires you to try some artistic, or I say artistic note-taking as well.